Happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate, and to those who don't. We have other cause to celebrate since it is the Channelversary of this channel. How many years have I been doing this, you may ask? 18. 18 years ago today, I started this channel, which is really wild to me to think about, but if this were a child, I would be parent to a grown-ass adult today. That's how long I've been doing this. Some of you watching this might not have even been born yet when I started this. It just, again, it blows my mind when I stop and think about it like that. And to think that my intentional picking of the day, for as much as I denied it for years, it was intentional because I was the girl who always seemed to get dumped right before Valentine's Day, and then they would come back right after just because they didn't want to do the thing, and that's so fucked on so many levels, right? But, like, this was my rebellion, okay? This was my rebellion that, fine, but I still have my own thing that I'm doing over here, so even if I'm single, I have my own thing, so bite me. And for a lot of years, I think people made me feel lame about that. But at this point, I'm proud of it because, you know, 18 years is a freaking accomplishment. Like, that is one hell of an accomplishment. Granted, the channel may not be huge or anything. I never claimed it was. But still, I am very grateful for every last person who is subscribed here. And I say it with no exaggeration whatsoever when I say that I probably wouldn't still be here if not for you guys. And those who are newer here may think that's me being hyperbolic. Those of you who've been around for years know that that is not an exaggeration at all. You guys have talked me off the ledge so many times when needed be. So, like, I owe you guys everything. Genuinely and truly. So it's crazy stopping and thinking about all the wild twists and turns that this has taken. Like, it started out with, well, initially, the very first things that were uploaded before I ever came on a camera was me just, like, uploading, like, the Beatle cartoons and shit, and obviously that got pulled for copyright in no time at all. But after that, the first sneaking onto camera, it was cringy. I was reenacting famous film scenes and stuff with me as all the characters, which they are long deleted now. Don't ask me to show them to you. I didn't back them up anywhere. I kind of wish I had, because honestly it would be hilarious to watch back now for as bad as they were, but I don't have them. I didn't have an external hard drive to back those up to, and I didn't have the hard drive space to just save them. They are gone into the ether. I'm sure on some YouTube server somewhere they're around, but I don't have them. So after those, I got a little braver, but I still didn't have the self-confidence to just come on as myself. Because I felt like, who the hell am I? No one's going to want to watch a nobody. Like, come on, that's stupid. Why would anybody do that? And given what YouTube is, I realize that is literally exactly what YouTube is. But in that moment, I don't think I fully comprehended what the platform was for itself. So I lacked the self-confidence to just be me. So for a while in there, I would only upload as characters. And I don't know if there's anyone still here who's been around long enough to remember those. But if you missed it, Jen Lennon was a thing, Jenny Garland was a thing, Jen Twistle was a thing. Like, there was about like 5 or 6 of them that I would, like, oscillate back and forth between. It probably looked like some kind of personality disorder from the outside looking in hindsight, but in the moment, between that and, like, the reenacting film scenes thing, I think my intention at that time was fully and genuinely thinking that someone would discover me and try me out as an actress, I think is what my initial thoughts were there. Clearly that did not happen, and will probably, especially now, because I'm pushing 40, like, it ain't gonna happen now if it hasn't happened yet, but at that age, I was young and naive, I was in my very early 20s, I was convinced that someone would discover me and use me as an actress, or at least try me out, if nothing else. Maybe I would get a screen test. Even that I would have been proud of. But that did not happen. And I had one friend who was really into, like, the whole family vlogger scene. I had never heard of this before at that point in time. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that meant. But she tried to explain it to me and begged for, like, weeks on end for me to just try it. And again, I couldn't comprehend why anyone in their right mind would want to watch that, especially of me. Like, I feel like I'm the world's most boring person. Why the hell would you want to see that? But, okay, I'll try it. And that first vlog is still up to this day. That was the start of the ones that I didn't delete. But I did delete everything up to that point shortly thereafter because I got embarrassed. But, it is so painfully awkward to watch it now. I did a reacting to it last year because somebody requested it, and just the whole time I was like, oh god, no, shut up, Jen, shut the fuck up, Jen, stop. But, like, I'm sure you could show me something from last week and I would feel the same way about it even now, but, like, oh god. And so many people have gone back and viewed those and then been like, oh my god, you were practically a fetus back then. Listen how high your voice was. And this is where I have to point out, it's not that my voice was high back then. That was the overwhelming anxiety about being in front of a camera and not knowing what the fuck I was doing and being scared and my voice going up an octave. And it took me about 10 years to hit the point of actually feeling comfortable in front of the camera and being able to use my real voice. Which is what you hear now. That's the real voice. That high, hot mess in those earliest videos, that was not it. That was not it. And we have home videos from around the same time that prove that it did not just sound like that at that age. It didn't. So, no, that was the anxiety voice. And I still, to this day, I catch myself slipping into it with phone calls sometimes if I'm nervous. So that's why I am so certain of, no, that's the anxiety voice. That wasn't me just being young. So there is that. But yeah, I tried to just find random things to talk about, but I didn't fully understand the medium, you know? So I would try to find random things to talk about and usually fail miserably at it, but would try and just talk at a camera for a while. Let us not forget, there was, like, time limits back then on how long your videos could be. I think it was, like, 10 minutes or something back then. Like, 10 or 15, something ridiculously short. And I talk a lot. This is not a secret to you guys that I talk a lot. So that felt very constricting. So trying to find not only things to talk about, but stuff that I could cram into that kind of a time limit. Not easy. So I would go for, like, streaks of, like, 5 or 6 videos and then not touch it at all for months. Or occasionally years at a time. Yes, there were stretches where there was just no uploads for, like, 2 years. No reason other than I couldn't think of anything worth uploading. And then the singing videos started. And I think it was much along the same lines of, like, the dream of being discovered as an actress. It's like, maybe I'll get discovered as a singer. But I'm not that good. So, and it wasn't just me singing, it was, like, me literally putting on a song and singing to it. Yeah. And usually not having enough self-confidence in my voice to turn the music down to where I'm the predominant one being heard. No, that was not accidental. That I had it intentionally pretty loud to where any weaknesses in my voice could be easily forgiven because they're just being buried in amongst with the actual singer who's singing. Yeah, they were cringe too, especially since with the nervousness, on top of already having no kind of stage presence, and I don't know what to do with my hands, I don't know how to move, I'm not a dancer, like, it just came off so painfully awkward, but for a good chunk of time in there, that was, like, all I uploaded, was just cringy singing videos, and like 90% of them were always like Judy Garland or Liza Minnelli. And to this day, I do not regret that, because they're still my favorites. But occasionally I'd sneak another one in of somebody else, but usually it would always come back to them. Basically because I wanted to be the next one of them, but still secretly do, but it's not going to happen. My voice isn't that good. But it is what it is. I'm not delusional. I get it. But, yeah, for a long time, like, in our old house, standing on, like, the end of my bed with my camera propped up on top of my TV and a speaker behind me on the shelf behind my bed. This was my filming setup, while at the same time trying to be very strategic in exactly how the camera was in frame to make sure it didn't get the other half of the room in frame that was like an actual disaster area. It was a shared bedroom, to be fair, but like, it was not cute. So anyway, there was that. Those earliest videos were all in there, and yeah, that was also, I think, kind of self-limiting too, of knowing that even when I would just talk to a camera, it was A, on a webcam that looked like filming on a potato, and B, having to be very, very mindful of exactly where that camera was framed. And this wasn't just an in my room thing, even like that first vlog that's out in our old living room. Nobody called it out, thankfully. People were nice and didn't say anything if they did notice, but I watched that and all my brain sees is the clutter in the kitchen and behind the back of the couch and just... yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, lessons were learned early, thankfully, about that. Because once we got into this house, then I was much more mindful about where I would set up my camera, what it would be pointed at. If the room was a mess, we're just gonna sit in front of a door on the floor, and it'll be fine. No one needs to know. No one needs to know what's on the other side of the camera. No one needs to know. Although, eventually people started asking when it was years and years on end of sitting in front of a door, but it is what it is, so... And at this point, now it's like, fuck it, backdrop, so it is what it is. Although it's not so much that, as it's because my bed is back there, and that just feels weird to have that as a backdrop, especially when it's not like a cute modern bed, it's like an antique 1930s or 40s bed, so I was like, I don't really want that to be the background of every video, especially because that just invites trouble in the comments, and I don't like that. So I'd rather deal with the annoying fuckers who are like, nice shower curtain, even though it's like, you understand you couldn't do a sequin shower curtain, right? That's mesh with sequins sewn to it, you stupid fucks. Anyway. And yeah, it's also 3 different pieces of fabric, by the way, in front of a piece of fabric that is stretched across poles. So, anyway. You know, the things we do, but how far we've come in 18 years from filming on a shitty little webcam that looked like an egg. Not even the spherical one, no, mine was the off-brand one that looked like an egg and didn't even have a microphone built into it. I had to have a separate microphone that just, because we're outing all the things today, it was snapped in half, and I duct taped it back together, and then would duct tape that to the back of my laptop screen. Or sometimes I would just hold it, but usually I would duct tape it on the back of my laptop screen and just call it a day. Half the time I would duct tape the freaking webcam up there too, because it would always fall down. It never wanted to stay put. I still to this day, even with modern ones, do not comprehend how anyone gets them to stay, but that's another story for another day. But we've gone from that to filming on expensive devices that are over $1,000, like even my phone, where I do my live streams. I think this was like $1,400 or some shit. Yeah, and clearly I take such good care of it, that's why all the corners are cracked, right? But like, we've moved from potato to that. Yeah, with a ring light, with a backdrop. I'd like to think we've had an upgrade in production value, you know? just a little. Oh god, it's still far from being anything fancy, but it serves the purpose that I need it to serve, and that is all that matters, right? Right. So. But yeah, all the twists and turns in the content, from going from those to then we moved in here, and then I started trying to do vlogs again, but again, I would just run out of topics, and I never seemed to have my finger on the pulse of anything that was worth talking about. It was always like weird shit that I would decide to talk about, like, ooh, the multicultural Crayola pack, like, why? Why, Jen? Of all the things you could talk about that are going on in the world, that's your topic? Okay. Okay. And then I tried to do series, like High School for Newbies. You know, the chick who basically dropped out of high school, but okay, yeah, I'm some kind of authority to be giving advice on that. Make it make sense. I don't know. I figured, nobody needs to know. But, like, I tried that. I tried doing my own advice column that died within, like, what was it, 3 videos? Because nobody asked anything beyond that, so I never had any more to do. Just weird shit. It was like whatever the hell struck my fancy in the moment, I would upload. And then the fateful day when I made a joke video that wasn't really a review. It was honestly me kind of making fun of reviews of stuff like it. The freaking EOS lotion trio. That I was like, they all smell like tampons. It, like, I was literally taking the piss, but yeah. And then it blew up, and I was like, wait, people liked that? What the fuck? Nah, that had to be a fluke. That had to be a fluke. Or they just thought it was funny. But I kept seeing more and more people, like, posting these, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I did it for real, though. And, like, took it seriously for a change. And so I did, and those were, like, the start of the lip balm videos. I was like, I mean, I have these laying around anyway. May as well make some use out of them. And then those took off even more. I was like, oh, I think I'm onto something here. That was never what I initially set out for my channel to be, but it's what it ended up becoming. And it still to this day is kind of the backbone of what the channel is, and, like, everything else is, like, offshoots from that in any random which way, but it was like, it started as a joke, and then it just took off for real. So many things in my life seem to go that way. My Discovering Liza Minnelli started as a joke, and then I ended up like an actual legitimate fan to, like, she's like my favorite of all of the favorites, like, what the fuck, but there's so many things in my life that are like that, where I'm like, it started as a joke, and here's how it's going now! It's for real now! So, I've learned to be more selective with my joke things like that, knowing full well that this could become an actual thing. Are you okay with that? So, yeah, it's weird. It's weird living in my head, not gonna lie, but so there was all of those, and then that started, like, branching out into, well, I mean, yeah, I do all these lip balm ones, but what if I did, like, other makeup? I could do other makeup. I don't really know how to use makeup, but I could learn. Yeah, hard to believe that, like, even just maybe 10-ish years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, and to this day, there's still loads of products that I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing with them. But on the other hand, I feel like there's a value in being upfront about that, because I feel like I am not the only one. There's plenty of people who are in that same boat, and they appreciate the realism of that. They like that. They like that I'm just human about it, and that I'm not trying to be perfect, that I'm not trying to be, like, professional. I'm literally just a person who's trying to figure it out. And that has kind of led me through a lot of my content since then. Because I had that also short-lived series where I was, like, trying to learn how to, like, bake and cook, and I still, from time to time, debate, should I bring that back? Would anyone even still want to watch that? I mean, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing there, but, like, a thing at a time, I learn, and, you know, it's a process. It's a process, and I feel like it makes it less scary for other people who are in the same boat to see somebody being real about it and not being perfect with it and including the F-ups when they happen. I feel like there's value in that. And that's why I always did them the way I did, and not a single thing turned out flawless ever that I made. And that's okay. That's okay. There was those that went that way. There's when I finally made the big scary leap from going from the singing along to a recorded track to I'm actually gonna attempt to play it, and sing to it. That still scares the ever-loving shit out of me every time I do it. But every time I do, I'm always so proud of myself after, just for being brave enough to hit upload. Because I know that I'm not that good at it. Like, again, I am aware, 100%. I'm not some big talent, I know. But I'm realistic about it. And I feel like for everything that I am brave enough to upload is getting a little more courage to take more chances instead of staying in, like, a comfort zone of, like, I could do better than this, but I mean, that's a challenge and that's scary, because what if I fail? What if people laugh at me? And then I just never do it. And then we get streaks where I don't upload any of those kind of videos for long stretches of time because I get too far up in my own head about it. And I get too scared. Until I eventually break that ice and I see that, wait, I did the thing. It went fine. People were nice about it. Why was I so scared of doing this again? I should do more of these. And then I get in a good groove with it for a while. And I'd post a bunch of them until I hit some kind of wall for one reason or another. Either my depression acts up, my anxiety acts up, just life events happen, falls to the back burner, got really busy, didn't have time, and now we're back at square one where I'm scared again. And that's kind of where we're at right now, even though I literally even tried to bribe myself buying another new ukulele, being like, come on, do the thing. Get back into the game. Get back into the game. You know you want to. Scary as it is, you know you want to. So there's that. And just all the different things that, like, over time have picked up speed, like all the different reviews of different stuff, like movies and shows and specials and different products that aren't makeup, just any random thing, realizing that, like, pretty much anything I interact with in my life, I can make some kind of content out of, and there's always going to be someone out there, somewhere, who wants to see it. I think that's really cool, and actually makes me really grateful that I live in the time that I live in, that that can be a thing, you know? Even if money weren't a part of it, although that's another life-changing thing for me, of having a whole other stream of income that I otherwise wouldn't have without even having to leave the house. That's amazing to me. But just the fact that people want to see the things that I'm recording, that I'm putting up, I love that. No matter how random as crap as it is, there's always someone out there who wants to watch it. There's always going to be somebody. And sometimes they might not get a lot of views at first, but then I'll, like, go back a year or two later and suddenly it has thousands of views. I'm like, whoa, when did that happen? That's really cool. I like that. And just the sense of community. Granted, yeah, there are certain communities that are more welcoming than others, but the one that we've fostered together here on this channel, I feel, is a good one. The larger communities as a whole, I don't try to get involved with them. I never have. I've always kind of been a lone wolf anyway, not just with YouTube, but in life. I've always kind of been a loner, so I mean, I really don't give a shit about that. Like, the whole recent dramas with being, like, excommunicated from the VC. I'm like, you can't excommunicate somebody who was never properly in it to start with. So, okay, like, take your win and go, alright? Like, I was never part of it. Deal with it. Like, I'm still gonna be here doing my thing either way. The same way I've been doing for the past 18 years, and probably will for the next 18 or however long this platform remains to be a thing. So, like, if it sticks around, I could easily see myself doing this the rest of my life. I'm being honest about that. Like, yeah, I've seen plenty of people retire from it recently. I'm like, that's sad to me. Why would you want to? Why would you want that? Like, yeah, it's work. Yeah, it's absolutely a job. But why would you want to, like, walk away from it? I go through periods in my own head where I think temporarily, should I just hang it up and walk away? But I get over it. I went through one of these last year even where I was debating it for a while. I was like, maybe when I hit 5,000 uploads, that'll be it, and I'll walk away. I got over that. We're like nearing the 5,000 mark, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I'm freaking staying. So I got over that. That, I think, was just mental health issues getting up in my head and making me self-doubt. But yeah, it's crazy when you think about where it's like, to outsiders looking and who don't do YouTube, it probably looks batshit insane. And maybe on some level it is, that I spend hours and hours a day talking to a camera. The fact that I have a folder on my computer of pre-filmed stuff dating back months at this point in some cases that I pull from at any given point in time to upload, as well as current ones. Like, at current count, I've got, let's see, how many do I have in there right now? Current count, 519 that are pre-filmed. If I were to upload just one of those a day, I could go almost 2 years without filming a thing and no one would be any the wiser. But that's not how I roll. We all know that I don't stick to just one upload a day either. I like 3 or 4 or 5. I like that kind of shit. So, it is what it is. I don't believe in the whole niche down thing. I'm just, whatever I feel like uploading, I upload. If I like it, I film it, I share it. Some of you will like it, some of you won't. And that's where I'm like, well, if it's not your thing, don't click it. Wait till there is a thing that is your thing, and watch that. Because I guarantee there will be something that you like, because I'm in so many different directions all over the place all the time that there's bound to be something that you will like, eventually. So, but yeah, it's been a wild ride for 18 whole years. And I have tested out many different types of content. Some have failed and died a death, but most of them, at least in some capacity, have stuck around. Some not as frequent as I'd like them to be, and some that might have been deemed dead at one point that I still kind of want to resurrect. But it's interesting thinking back on 18 years of that, and then thinking, what would the next 18 look like? Where is it going to go that I can't even predict right now? You know? I mean, I only just barely started dipping my toe in the waters of live streams. And I still might come back to them. I don't know. Again, like, the whole recent events thing has made me self-doubt, and I think I'm more up in my own head about that than the reality of it, and I should probably just dive back in and come back, is the reality there. But, like, everything else, even that aside, it just, thinking about, if I couldn't have predicted any of all of the things that this has become at this point in time, imagine all the other things that it will also become over time. That's incredible. It is just a whole head trip to me whenever I stop and think about that. So, I again just want to thank every last one of you who takes the time to come here, that watches me, takes the time to comment, because even if you don't think that the comment means much, it means a lot to me. Even if I don't respond to it, I always make a point of hitting the little heart on it so you know I've seen it. Even if I don't have anything to add to it, I've seen it, and I appreciate you for leaving that comment. So, anyway, I've yammered on for almost half an hour, so I should probably wrap this up. But yeah, anyway, that is it for this one, guys. So as usual, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already, hit the notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, make sure you're following the socials if you're not already, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, eBay, what the hell ever, all's linked in there. We all know the drill at this point. It's all down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.